How you guys doing? Low budget Pokemon here. Today I want to talk about a serious topic, being scammed on eBay or any other online platform. Now, some of you guys may be buying cards, vintage cards on eBay, Mercari, maybe some Japanese Buyee website. And these are really the only way you can get your hands on maybe a rare card, a card that is out of print, vintage card, things like that. You can't go and pull it, right? And maybe they don't have it at your local card shop. So eBay, I know is a very popular platform, but you have to be very careful on. Typically, eBay is pretty safe, but you still have to be very careful. So there was a scam that happened to me about November of last year. I saw a very good deal on eBay, and typically what I found is that eBay buying is still very competitive for Pokemon. People have it on their phones. They're checking, new listings almost constantly, right? And then whenever you see a new listing that's a good price, somebody is there pouncing on that deal, right? That's the only really way you can snipe a good deal these days, is to basically be on your phone all day, and then just, if it's a good deal, you gotta act fast, or else that deal could just be gone, right? The opportunity could be gone. So this was the situation for this particular card. You guys may know this card. It's a Mario Pikachu and Luigi Pikachu, full art, PSA 10. So there was this one seller selling these two cards, PSA 10. The list price was about, I think, over $2,000 for both. And it was a bidding, it was an auction. So it could go higher, it could go lower. But however, if you go into that listing, it actually says that if you go to a website, external website, gcdcard.com, you actually can get 15% off. So that's what I did. I saw that listing, right? I looked at the time, it's basically just newly listed. I went into that website and I saw that card being for sale. And I looked through the website, basically just try to see, is this a legit website? It looked really legit. Okay, so apparently the seller put up a website. They also sell other cards, and it looked legit. So what I did was I basically purchased it, right? Just bam, purchased it. And what happened was very interesting, right? So they said it's completely safe, PayPal, it's insured by PayPal, and then they try to reassure you, right? PayPal's fine, you can use we accept all credit cards, PayPal, right? So I used PayPal, I used my credit card, and I got the order, I got the receipt. So here on the screen you can see, so this is actually something I actually sent to this credit card company to dispute because it was actually a scam, right? So at the time, you can see here, Exhibit A, right? So I sent this payment of about $2,000 to Taylor65Wilson@outlook.com. So this should have been my number one tip off that this is a scam. So nobody really uses Outlook.com as an email, right? You use Outlook as a platform, but you don't actually have an Outlook email. Anyways, so that was sent. And then I got an email, they sent an email saying that it's going to be shipped within the next couple business days. So here you can see that this was actually something that PayPal actually gave to me, right? So this particular shipping number, this tracking number was given to me. So the 7704-020-52143, and it was sent by FedEx, okay? So what I did was I went over to FedEx. Let me bring up FedEx. And you can see that this was actually shipped from Waukesha, Wisconsin, right? So I was following this, and it was actually delivered on 11/5 at 2:47 p.m. Okay, so if we go over here, if you notice, right, November 4th, basically 11 o'clock p.m. is when I purchased it, and it was delivered the next day, right? So this was less than 24 hours, right, that this was delivered. So how is that possible, right? Like, you can't have like a same day delivery, right? So there's no way that he could have sent this package in the middle of the night and have it delivered the next day at 2:47, right? So that was very suspicious. So then I sent them an email saying, hey, is it possible that you guys messed up, right? you guys gave me a different package tracking number. So actually from this particular one, you can see here that this label was actually created 11/4/7:38 a.m. So this label was created even before I purchased the item, right? So this is not the right tracking number. So, I sent the email over. They were like, oh, actually, we made a mistake, okay? You actually have a UPS tracking number, okay? So you can see here, this was the confirmation email. Hi Lawrence, blah, 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 blah. So this is actually the tracking number that they gave, the second tracking number they gave me, okay? So what happened was I looked at this tracking number and you can see, so these are all actually after the fact, right? You can see that the weight is off. I mean, for 2 PSA graded cards, this should not weigh past half a pound, okay? And this was being delivered using UPS ground, 7.4 pounds. This just looked completely off. And, I basically sent them an email saying, hey, how is this possible? And they were like, oh, well, it's a lot of packaging material. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll wait for it. And, if I'll be patient, right? I'll be patient. I'll wait for it. So they shipped this, 11/6. This is going to Worcester, right? This is the city that I live in. And what happened was I was actually at work when this delivered, okay? And it was actually, it was signed by somebody at Jenkins, inside delivery. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is not right. So it was at this point in time that I knew that I was part of a scam. Okay, I got scammed. So you can see here, this was actually delivered in Shrewsbury, like out for delivery. This was just really, really bad. And what I noticed, what I realized is that, eBay, right? So if you're selling on eBay, all you need to do is just, if you ship something, your proof of shipping that is just the tracking number, right? That's the proof. If you give eBay, if you ship an item and you have a tracking number, if you're a buyer, you can't go to eBay and say, I didn't receive this item, because eBay is going to look at that tracking number and say, he shipped it, it was delivered to the city, bam, that's the proof that you need, right? But it doesn't tell you what address. It's just somewhere in the city. So the scammers at this, in this scheme, they actually were able to kind of, I don't know, hack the system, hack, the tracking number. They're actually able to find a tracking number going to my city, right? And I don't know how they do it. But if you think about it, it's not that difficult, right? Because I mean, even UPS at the very, even if you live in a very, very small city, there's some packages coming into your city every day, right? It could be UPS, FedEx, it could be anything, USPS. So all the scammers have to do is just figure out the system and how to get that tracking number, and then just, basically scam you like this. So at this point, I knew I was scammed, and what I did was I basically went to PayPal, and PayPal was just absolute garbage in terms of how they handle disputes. It's just really bad. I mean, just automated messages, and I think what did they say? They said that they really couldn't help me, right? So what I did next was I went to Citi, which is the credit card company that I use to purchase this item. And one thing I noticed in hindsight is, if you ever buy anything online through, maybe off of eBay or whatever like that, always use your credit card, because they have, and then make sure that your credit card has fraud protection, right? So I was lucky that I was using my credit card. If I just, sent payment over via my bank, because you could send, like a money payment, I would have no protection. Okay, so basically I filed a chargeback. They looked into it, and what they did was they actually sided with the seller because they had the tracking number. So Citi really didn't do their job in terms of investigating the case. So they saw the tracking number, and then they basically said, I lose, right? So at this point, I had to file a dispute. I had to go back and say, hey, I respectively disagree. So this is the letter that I wrote to them. Okay, so actually, I'll let you guys see this. Okay, so this is actually the first letter. If you guys are part of a tracking number scam, this is how you handle it. When I filed a chargeback, Citi actually went to that seller and asked for a tracking number. Okay, and what happened was that seller actually gave him a third tracking number. Okay, so this was a tracking number that was given. It's this they basically just put together some thing that looked like a receipt. Its tracking number was delivered. It's actually this company, Aramex AU, which is an Australian shipping company. Now they're basically saying this was shipped from like Australia. And when I actually put this tracking number in, it actually is invalid. So they just basically at this point screw FedEx, UPS, we just give them some number, give Citi some number, right? So this was a tracking number that was provided, and it's actually just fake. And then Citi just took it, right? They basically took the bait. Did no research. Okay, so when I saw that, I was just completely livid because now I've seen 3 different tracking numbers. I still didn't get my card, and I just basically Citi just told me to, I lost. So after I submitted this to Citi, I think it took them maybe a week. So it was during Christmas time, and they were able to process it, and the decision was I still lose. Okay, so it was during this time that what I did was I actually filed a package missing at UPS because I really needed the missing information from here is it shows that it's being delivered to Worcester, okay, but it doesn't tell you the exact address in Worcester. I mean, if I could sell something on eBay, I could ship it, and somebody buys something from me on eBay, I could if I knew how to do this, I could just ship an empty letter, right, with a tracking number in it, the empty package. I could just ship it to any random address in Worcester, okay, like just some random address, and then on eBay the interface, it says that it's received at that city, but they didn't actually receive the package. Somebody else received the empty box from me, right? So, and that would be sufficient proof for me, for eBay to give me that case. So what I had to do was I actually had to go out to UPS, right, and file a missing package claim. And then somebody was actually able to help me, figure out where this package went, right? So the initial UPS tracking number that they gave me, you can see here that this actually went to, 160 Gold Star Boulevard, okay? So it actually tells me where it was sent from and where it was sent to, okay? So here you can see, it's Bar Group, 160 Gold Star Boulevard. That definitely is Worcester, and it was actually sent from 3M North. So you can go on Google Maps. You can see that these are actually industrial buildings, right? So somebody sent some part from this plant here in Illinois to this plant here in Worcester, which I do know where this is. So that's just how it works, right? So after I got this very, very key piece of information, I followed up with Citi. And you can see here that, after they actually got this particular piece of evidence, they were able to rule in my favor. So I did get my money back, all $1,990, which is a lot of money. You could buy a lot of Pokemon cards with $1,000, close to $2,000. So I think from this lesson, hopefully this helps you, right, in terms of being very cautious who you buy from. So typically, people with zero feedback from very interesting locations. I did see some auctions, Mario Pikachu auctions being sold from somewhere in Argentina. They had zero feedback and people were bidding, and they actually won, right? They actually won the card for a very low price. So that tells me that there's some people out there who are actually cautious about this. Hopefully, the winner didn't actually follow through on that transaction, but if they did, hopefully they can win when it comes to eBay, right? And if it really is a scam. So stay safe out there. Hopefully this gives you a idea in terms of how to handle this type of situation. I was very fortunate in this case. Looking back, I used my credit card company was able to help me out, and everything just worked out. So be safe. See you guys next time.